What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock and help you guys better understand the price action of Tesla. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow. I'm going to break down what's going on with the S&P 500 and the S&P 500 ESG index and why these things are actually separate indexes. They're actually separate, so which means that Tesla is still on the S&P 500. It's just not on the S&P 500 ESG. I just wanted to clarify that. I'm also going to talk about what the news is saying about Tesla and what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend Elon Musk put on his Twitter page that's very, very important for Tesla going forward. Now, before I say anything about what Elon Musk said, before I give you guys my price prediction, I do have to mention a couple of things real quick. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please don't take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. And not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below in the description. If you sign up for Webull with the link down below and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free. This is a limited time offer, so please check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at Tesla, we're currently down about 0.05% for the day right now. And even though we're a little bit red, this is very similar to what I predicted. Now, I was wrong about this part. I thought Tesla could drop as low as 680, get a nice bounce off that, then continue to trade in this range right here and end up closing around 705 or 701. We ended up closing at 709, so I wasn't that far off, but we did end up holding up better than I expected. So that's a good sign for Tesla. And I do anticipate a bit of a green day for tomorrow, and I'm going to show you exactly why. So when we go back to what's going on with the NASDAQ, okay? The NASDAQ was also a little bit in the red, and Tesla was actually less red than the NASDAQ, which is another good sign. Now, if you go back to the chart like this, right, there is this gap right here I was talking about, this key gap that the NASDAQ, I believe, was going to fill for today at $11,376. I drew it out, and you can see if I actually go to like right now, the NASDAQ filled the gap right here. It clearly filled it and got a nice bounce after that. And that's, in my opinion, is a good sign because now it's kind of acting as support. And it does look like the NASDAQ wants to push up just a little bit more because a lot of EVs are showing lots of life. And Tesla, in turn, I think its turn is coming pretty soon too. So what's going on with Tesla's share price? Looking at Tesla and the market, first off, looking at the SPY, actually, the SPY is not in the best of states right now. I think it's at a pretty low level, and it's looking like it's in a position where it might actually start to see that bounce. We really want to see that bounce if it tests that 387 to $385 level. If it doesn't, it won't be too good for the market, but I think it most likely will get a bit of a bounce. Now, my whole thesis for this market is the fact that I think it's actually going to be a little bit shaky until we get the news about Shanghai reopening. Once that news comes out, I think there's going to be a temporary relief rally, which means that we may have another week or so of some sideways action, some kind of choppiness. And that's kind of like what I'm seeing. That doesn't mean the market's going to be red every single day. I just think it's not going to be as bullish as what it could have been once we get that announcement from China. Now, what is my prediction for Tesla? Well, one of the things that generally happens in the market is what happens generally on Fridays is we get a really nice push. Okay, we get a nice push from the opening. And after that push up during the opening, I anticipate the fact that there is not really a catalyst that's going to push us down during our opening. So we should open strong, kind of drop towards the middle of the day, then get a slight bounce towards the closing and actually close a little bit green. So to describe this, let's look at some technical indicators real quick. Let me close, my previous prediction. You look at the RSI, okay, and I like to keep up my MACD too, right over here. We could use, let me see, I don't know where I put my EMAs. Let me look for my EMAs real quick. Whoopsie daisy, give me 1 second. Right now, Tesla's doing a lot better. It's actually holding up a lot better than a lot of people expected. And that's a pretty good sign for the next upcoming days because it's starting to respect a bit of an upward trend. So when I talk about an upward trend, we're talking about the fact that Tesla was at $680 when it got its bounce before. Now we got a bounce off 694. So it's a slow but sure upward trend. We can see that we're kind of respecting this upward trend right here from a more micro perspective. So looking at the RSI, it's at that kind of lower value. The MACD was kind of dropping too. But if you look at this from the 2-hour time frame, which I often like to do, you can see the MACD started to actually respect kind of a sideways, maybe an upward thrust after we got that bounce off that 680, which means that Tesla's on a bit of an upward trend right now. RSI, it went from being very oversold a couple of days ago to being less oversold. So that's a pretty good sign, in my opinion. We didn't get that 1348 EMA crossover or anything like that. We're not above where the previous 200 moving average was on the 2 hours. So that's an indication that we are kind of oversold. So some bullish price action does seem a little bit more imminent. So what I think is going to happen is this. First off, we got to look at support and resistance levels. And there's a change from how I previously reported this. Something different came out. And that's the fact that Tesla often gets kind of like rejected around that $730 range. We also have some resistance around that 720. So to redraw this, I think I need to insert one more horizontal line. I know there are lines all over the place. It looks kind of messy. Let me fix this up for 1 second. For Tesla, this is what I'm seeing. Let's close the EMA, the moving average. Let's just keep the charts the way it looked from before. Now, volume isn't the best for Tesla. It's not necessarily great. It's not too bad either, at least over the last like day to day and a half. And what you're noticing in Tesla is we like these channels very, very much, and we often get rejected off that 730 range. So unless we're really bullish, I would expect us to break 730, but I don't think we're there just yet. So for tomorrow, if I can make any prediction, and let me actually switch to the 1 minute candles so I could be a lot more meticulous when doing this. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's adjust the chart. Where is the end? I'm trying to adjust it so I can show you the beginning to the end of the day. So the chart looks like this. So looking at Tesla, we're showing a lot more strength. We're looking a lot better than before. So what I would anticipate into the opening is this. I anticipate that Tesla is actually going to push up during its opening. It's going to push up like this, maybe have some resistance at 719, 720, kind of trade like this, and then actually push above that during the opening. The market's going to be like really green, and we might get rejected off that 732 range. Now, if we don't get rejected, we could push a little bit higher, but the higher we go, the more likely we are to get rejected. And that's what I think is going to happen. We're going to get a small rejection, trade within this range at a higher range for some time, and we're slowly going to kind of bleed out, I would say, as the day goes on. But then we're going to hit our low of the day, perhaps around, I don't know, 13 o'clock or whatever. And then we end up pushing kind of sideways for a lot of Friday. And we actually have a pretty decent day. We end up going up by maybe $10 to $15. I wouldn't be surprised if we're somewhat in the green. I know generally Fridays are red days for the markets, but the market's doing a little bit different. Moves because the SPY has been dropping, but a lot of tech stocks, a lot of blue chip stocks are definitely improving. So when it comes to this price action, okay, that's just my prediction. It's not always going to be right. Here's what else you need to look out for. If Tesla drops, if it gets rejected, and we do start dropping hard. We have support at 700 to 701. We have support at 694. That's where we got our previous bounce, but there isn't that much confirmation that that's a very strong support. And also 680 should be strong support too because we have bounced off there before. If we start pushing even higher, we have resistance at around 719 to 720, resistance in that 730 range. We have pretty strong resistance right there because there's been a lot of action and lots of rejections that came from there. So 730s, that range is going to have some resistance. And if that manages to break, then 744 to 745 is what I'll be looking out for. And if we somehow push through that, I mean, the 760 range to 775, a lot more resistance there, but I don't see us going that high. I would love to see that, but that's just my prediction. But anyways, I told you guys support resistance. I told you guys what my price prediction is. Let's actually talk about the other things I was mentioning earlier. So just to clarify something, at the time I'm recording this, okay, the S&P 500, right, it still has Tesla listed in it. It's the sixth largest company on there from what I'm seeing. Tesla is still a big company, or at least by weight, it's the sixth largest company. Tesla is still on the S&P 500. It got kicked out of the S&P 500 ESG index, which is a broad-based market cap weighted index that is designed to measure the performance of securities meeting sustainability criteria. So it's a different index it got kicked out of. I still wasn't happy to hear about that, nor was Elon Musk. But at the end of the day, right, the news has passed. It's not going to be as bad for us. Tesla still has immense potential. So nothing to be too worried about. I just wanted to make this clear distinction. So Another big piece of news is this. I wouldn't say it's a huge piece of news, but Tesla is building one of the world's largest supercharger stations in the Mojave Desert. Once again, it's showing that this whole network of them building superchargers is becoming better and better. And as time goes on, I expect the cars to be charged at quicker rates, and more of these networks are going to be available. So a lot of malls, in my opinion, are going to see more of these superchargers. You could stop by at the mall and charge it. Other stores, grocery stores, lots of places are going to have this as the world is going electric. So this is just another sign and another indicator of what the future holds for this company. Now, a big thing I want to talk about is the fact that a Tesla whale calls for $15 billion stock buyback after the share price craters. And he essentially mentioned, his name is Martin Vieca. I apologize if I said that wrong. He mentioned that he's super bullish for Tesla. He's going to buy billions of dollars worth of the company within, I would say, the next 12 months, especially for next year. So he's more bullish for next year than this year. I just want to put it out there that this is very good news because he's bullish, and I do see lots of big indicators that Tesla is going to be very bullish for next year. Now, looking at this right here, the media is going crazy over this whole the NHTSA launching another investigation into the fatal crash that had potentially happened while someone was driving a Tesla. However, there is an important detail I noticed that a lot of big news outlets are not talking about, and that is the fact that when people hear about a Tesla crash, they automatically make the assumption quite frequently that it was on autopilot. It's all autopilot's fault. But right now, according to the report, if you actually read the article, it's not immediately clear. And I'm reading what I highlighted for you. It's not clear if autopilot was activated at the time of the crash. And Newport Beach police refused to comment, saying that the collision is still under investigation. So, with that said, no one could really throw hands at Tesla. But I do want to put it out there that there are going to be times where the full self-driving technology is not perfect. Accidents may happen, right? It's a beta. It's still improving, but for the long-term future, it's immense potential that's growing. It's a huge market that's growing, and it still makes me very, very bullish for Tesla. Now, looking at what Elon Musk mentioned is the fact that, look, right over here, the full self-driving beta 10.12 has new released notes, and Musk mentioned that this is a big one. Expect some 2 steps forward and 1 step back situations. These will be greatly ironed in point releases, hence wider beta releases too. So like he said before, 2 steps forward, 1 step back situations. They are making progress, but it's not 100% perfect yet. It's a work for the future, and it still makes me bullish. So, anyways, for the short term, yeah, there could be some choppy price action as the lockdowns in Shanghai are not officially over yet. But once that's announced, I think the market's going to become a lot more on the bullish side. We're going to get some temporary relief within the next few weeks. And after that, the markets may continue to see some downside based off what the SPY is doing. Tesla will probably see downside later during the year in the next few months, but it's not the end of the world. It's an opportunity to buy the dips. And you have to remember, we're still insanely bullish for the long term. Nothing has changed in this company as far as the potential goes. I'm super bullish. I gave you guys my price prediction, and I have not lost faith. With that said, do not look at the Tesla's price action as good or bad. Just look at opportunities to buy more shares, opportunities to scalp or day trade or do whatever you want. It's just opportunities, okay? Thank you. Have a great rest of the day. Tesla is amazing. Tesla to the moon. And peace out.